Kids your age are under so much pressure. Social media, mistakes lasting forever, it's a lot. We understand. Addie panics. I'd like to leave. Unless I'm being detained, I'd like to leave. My mom's going to worry. Of course, Wheeler says. Like I said, this isn't an interrogation. I don't need you to stay, she said. But just remember, right now, I can help you. The minute you walk out that door? I don't think so, Addie. I'll bet one of those other 3 kids in that detention room might take my help, she added. Addie looked her dead in the eye. I don't need your help. Then she rushed out of the room, pulling her phone from her pocket. She called her sister to pick her up. Cooper was brought in too. He was shown the same post. He wasn't as panicked as Addie, he was definitely shocked, but what he really felt was relief. Sure, the situation looked bad. All 4 of them had been in that room before Simon died. But the secret he'd been worried about? The one Simon hadn't posted yet? It was still safe. So, Cooper left. Bronwyn's parents didn't even allow the police to question her. These were very fancy schmancy Yale types of parents. They refused everything. You can contact her attorney, her father snapped. That's all. They rushed her home. In the car, they were fuming. Can you believe this? Her dad ranted. Off some ridiculous gossip website? They're interrogating kids? We could sue the police department over this. Outrageous. Her mom chimed in. Just imagine the damage this could do to your reputation. All because some high school rumor mill said so. I could write a blog post right now full of lies. Bronwyn tried to interject, Mom, it's not like that. Simon never lies. He did this time, her mom said firmly. Don't worry about it, Bronwyn. We're hiring an outstanding lawyer. This will all go away. It's just a formality. A blip. A speed bump on your way to Yale. But Bronwyn couldn't take it anymore. Her parents were ranting, furious. She cut them off. I did, though, she whispered. I did. What did you just say? Her mom asked. I cheated. The car screeched to a halt. What did you say? Her dad repeated, slower this time. I cheated. I used the lab after Mr. C. He was still logged into his Google Drive, and I was failing. I wasn't going to get into Yale. I saw the answers to all the chem tests for the rest of the year. I downloaded them to a USB and I cheated. Her parents were stunned, disappointed, but they were fast thinkers. Her dad asked immediately, how would Simon know? I don't know, she said. I really don't know. I'm just so disappointed in myself. Her mom looked horrified. Never in a million years would we have expected something like this from you. They knew what this meant. Motive. From the outside, it looked bad. Very bad. They didn't waste time. They called Robin, an incredibly successful defense attorney. But not high profile. That was intentional. High profile meant rich and guilty. This way, they stayed smart, strategic. Nate was the last one to be questioned. His probation officer, Mrs. Lopez, was with him. She defended him, hard. When the police got aggressive, she pushed back, yelling at them to back off. But on the drive home, she turned serious. I'm not going to ask you about what they said or that little Gossip Girl post. But listen to me, Nate. If you touch drugs, if you even go near them, I can't help you. Nobody can. You're already on thin ice. You know that. And I want you to think about this, all 4 kids involved? They've got something. Money, family, support. Maybe some of their families are struggling, but they're present. They're connected. Bronwyn? She's got power behind her. You don't. You're the outlier. You could easily become the scapegoat. Am I making myself clear? Nate nodded. He walked into his house, and was immediately hit by the smell. No, not again. He searched the place and found it, wherever his dad had thrown up and left it. Now he was scrubbing vomit off the counter. And all he could think about was Bronwyn's house. So white. So clean. So safe. What would it feel like to come home to that kind of place after being accused of murder? Probably a hell of a lot better than this. He hopped on his bike. Somehow, without meaning to, he ended up outside Bronwyn's house. But before he could even knock, a man in a padded vest stepped outside. I'm Javier Rojas, the man said. Bronwyn's father. Is Bronwyn home? Nate asked. You can't be here, Mr. Rojas replied firmly. And I'm sure you don't want police involvement any more than we do. So I'm sorry, but you'll have to leave. There was no conversation, no room for argument. Nate turned around and left. The next day at school, Bronwyn caught him in the stairwell. It was empty. I'm so sorry, she whispered. I saw you outside my window, but my parents wouldn't let me come downstairs. Our attorney says I'm not allowed to talk to any of you. The ones from detention. Nate nodded. It's fine. Did they question you too? Yeah, he said. And they came and searched my house. She blinked. They didn't search mine. It's fine, he repeated. Then he pulled out a phone. Here. It was a flip phone. It's new. Nobody has the number. It's not traceable. I can call you. If you want to talk. Bronwyn hesitated, then took it. Okay. Call me. Meanwhile, Addie knew what she had to do. She had to tell Jake. The police were probably going to use this against her. They'd try to pressure her by threatening to tell him first. That's what her older sister said. The one married to an attorney. You have to get ahead of it, her sister told her. Say it before someone else does. Don't let him find out any other way. So they drove to Jake's house. Her sister waited in the car. Jake met her in the basement. He looked worried. Are you okay? I heard you got questioned again. Addie swallowed. It's fine. But the police. They think we all murdered Simon. That we poisoned him. That's insane, Jake snapped. That's completely ridiculous. There was going to be a blog post, Addie said. One about us. And something in it was true. I have to tell you, she was already crying. At the end of the school year, when you were on vacation, I slept with TJ. We got drunk. I ended up at his house, and we slept together. I'm so sorry, Jake. It didn't mean anything. I'd take it back in a second. I never meant to hurt you. Jake's entire expression shifted. Oh, he said. You're sorry. That's great. As long as you're sorry, then it's all okay, right? I really am, Addie sobbed. Before she could say more, he jumped up from his beanbag chair and punched a hole in the wall. Then another. Addie flinched. Jake glared at her, blood dripping from his knuckles. You're sorry you screwed my friend? That you didn't tell me for months? While we were still together? While I thought we were in love? And all you can say is I'm sorry? What the hell is wrong with you? I treated you amazing, he said through gritted teeth. Get out. I can't stand the sight of you. Get the hell out of my house. Addie ran. Her sister was waiting outside, and she climbed into the car. They drove home in silence. The next day at school, word had already spread. Mostly because Jake had run into TJ and punched him in the face. He had to be escorted off campus. Addie was sobbing. Jake wouldn't even look at her. She kept trying to talk to him, but it was no use. People started putting the pieces together. Addie had slept with Jake's best friend. That much was clear. And just like that, nobody wanted to be Addie's friend anymore. She realized something brutal: the only reason she'd ever been popular was because she was dating Jake. Without him, she was nothing. She rushed to her locker. Her former friend stood nearby, smirking. Addie looked at the locker and froze. Someone had written across it in big, bold letters. She didn't run. She walked straight to the nearest bathroom. She locked herself in a stall and started sobbing. But it didn't stop there. A group of girls walked in. "Did you hear what Addie did? Oh my God, seriously? I would never cheat on Jake. I guess one of us is going to get lucky now." Meanwhile, Bronwyn was sitting at lunch with her sister when Maeve leaned across the table and said, "Bronwyn, did you see the newest post?" She pulled out her phone and opened Tumblr. It was Simon's unpublished post, the one about the 4 kids who had been in detention that day. But now, it had an added note: "Did you think I was kidding about killing Simon? Read it and weep, kids." Everyone in detention that day had an extra special reason to be there. Do you think they were all in on it together? Or is someone pulling the strings? Who's the puppet master, and who's the puppet? Here's a hint: everybody is lying. Bronwyn felt the room grow quiet around her, then louder, as whispers and gasps began to ripple across the cafeteria. Heads turned. People stared. Is this because of the investigation? I don't care, Cooper. They can question me all they want. I'm on your side. You think some doping rumors are gonna scare me? Please. You get drug tested every week. They're just jealous you're good at baseball. That's not why. Is it the Vanessa thing? Did she tell you what happened? No, she didn't say anything. You're not even curious about what she might have said? You don't even care, do you? I hooked up with Nate a week before we started dating. At a party. Then you asked me out, and I said yes. You don't even care? Seriously? Did I mean anything to you, or was I just some accessory? Safe to say, Keely didn't take the breakup well. Meanwhile, Maeve is actually doing the most on the investigation. She gets a library card under a fake name and hacks into Simon's blog. She tells Bronwyn that there are encrypted files on the site and she's working on decoding them. There's more: Simon's username was Anarch1st. Maeve Googles it and finds that he was extremely active on 4chan, especially on threads praising school shooters, not just discussing them. It's dark stuff. He even mentioned Bayview and his blog, confirming the account was his. Then a special segment airs, like ABC's 2020, hosted by true crime expert Mel Powers. He dubs them the Bayview 4, and the case goes viral. The world starts chiming in with opinions. Of course, sexism is alive and well. Cooper and Nate get fan pages because they're hot, while Bronwyn and Addie are labeled as manipulative liars. The police shift focus from the Bayview 4 to one of their siblings. They bring in Bronwyn, Maeve, and their attorney. Turns out, 18 months before Simon died, he made a blog post about Maeve. After recovering from leukemia, she went to a party and got drunk for the first time, just trying to be a normal teen. Simon mocked her relentlessly for dancing on a table. It crushed her. Maeve retreated from social life again and stopped going out altogether. The police say, that had to hurt, right, Bronwyn? Your sister finally acts like a teenager again, and he humiliates her. Must have made you angry. They keep going. Look at this, someone commented, "Die, Simon, using your email." Meanwhile, Cooper's at the gym with his best friend Luis. Reporters are swarming the place, so Luis says, "Let's swap clothes. I'll pretend to be you and lead them away. Take my car, my hat, they'll follow me." It works. Cooper finally feels free. Instead of going home, he drives to an apartment building, heads to the top floor, and knocks on the door. Chris opens it. "What are you doing here?" Cooper kisses him. Yes, Cooper is gay. He's not ashamed of it, he just knows that being gay in professional sports, especially baseball, could ruin everything. And with a dad like his, who still uses homophobic slurs and says things like, "I feel bad for the guys in the locker room with that gay player, he kept it hidden." Across town, Nate and Bronwyn are growing close. They watch Netflix together while on the phone. It's sweet. But Nate doubts himself. He tells her, "You're not going to want me once this is over. We're just different people." Addie, meanwhile, is in misery. She has no friends and cries in the bathroom every day. The only person she connects with is Janae, Simon's old best friend, who's also crying in the bathroom every day. Addie approaches her. "I know you don't like me, and with everything going on, I get it. But I would never have hurt Simon. And if you need someone to talk to, I'm here. You've never talked to me before." "I guess I haven't. Not until you lost your friends, huh?" "Yeah. I guess that's true. But I didn't know it bothered you." Their connection grows. One day, Janae asks to come over. Addie says yes, not because she thinks they're friends, but because she wants to see her mom's reaction. Janae is punk, black clothes, piercings, everything. Addie's mom is all about preppy, popular kids. When Janae arrives, Addie offers her water. She texts Bronwyn, "Come over. Janae's here. Let's talk." Bronwyn doesn't reply. In the kitchen, Addie runs into her mom, who gives a long lecture about the right kind of friends. Addie grabs a glass of water and heads upstairs, but Janae is already coming down. "I suddenly feel sick," Janae says. "I have to go." Addie gets a text from Bronwyn, "Can't come. Be careful. I don't trust her. She was alone in your room." Then the police call Cooper in again, alone. They show him a deleted post from Simon's blog, "Everybody wants a piece of Cooper. Even Keely. But rumor has it, he slept with a German underwear model. Too bad she can't win, he's playing for the wrong team." "Is this true?" the police ask. His lawyer steps in. "Being gay isn't a crime. Unless you have real evidence, we're done here." The police say, "Don't you think it's strange that Simon originally planned to expose your sexuality, not the steroid rumor? Maybe you killed him to stop that post from going live." The lawyer cuts in again. "That's enough." Cooper goes home. He knows the truth will come out, just like it did for Addie. He sits his parents down. They ask, "What now? Another stupid doping rumor?" "No," he says. "Simon knew I was gay." His dad laughs out loud. "Seriously? You're joking, right?" His mom frowns. "I don't think he is." The next day, Cooper's secret is out, and everyone is making jokes. Keely was pissed. Now she was the one being made fun of. People were throwing condoms at Cooper in the hallways. What kind of school is this? They'd walk by and say things like, "You like doing it in the butt, huh bro?" Seriously, gross, immature, and disgusting. The only one who stood by Cooper was Nate. He got right up in the middle of it and said, "Who the hell cares? Get a life." Then Vanessa, yeah, that Vanessa, the one who vandalized Addie's locker, pipes up and says, "Are you his boyfriend or something?" Cue everyone laughing like that's the funniest thing ever. Nate doesn't let it slide. He walks up to Vanessa, right in front of everyone, and says, "Really? Because I didn't even know your name when you tried to kiss me at my party a few months ago." "Oh, and what was it you tried to do?" "You stuck your hand down my pants." "In fact, is there any guy here you haven't done that with? Because I'd really like to meet him." The whole crowd goes wild. One really nerdy kid even stands up and says, "Me." Nate shrugs. "There you go, Vanessa. Make it happen." Then he walks off. He sits back down, and Bronwyn, bold as ever, gives him a full-on kiss on the lips in front of everyone. At this point, nobody cares that Cooper's gay anymore. Why? Because the valedictorian is dating the resident drug dealer. Everyone's like, "What the hell is going on?" Are we in a parallel universe? Is Mercury in retrograde or something? A few days later, the Bayview Four are back on Mel Power's show. This time, he's pissed. His first segment brought them a lot of negative attention. But this one flips the script. People are outraged on behalf of the students, especially Cooper. Mel Powers is gay himself, and he calls out the Bayview Police Department for what they did, forcing a high school student out of the closet. On national television. Unacceptable. He calls it bullying. And worse? It seems like the police have nothing on these kids. No evidence. No clear motive. Just rumors, and, apparently, their sexual orientation. The show also features interviews with Leia, Aiden, and others Simon had bullied. The message is clear, a lot of people had motive. So why are the Bayview Four the only ones under the microscope? By the end of the broadcast, the public had chosen its villains, and its heroes. Public enemy number 1, the Bayview Police Department. Public enemy number 2, Simon himself. People even started signing Change.org petitions demanding the investigation be dropped. Suddenly, Cooper was a saint. At first, when he came out, college scouts dropped him like dead weight. But now? They were all desperate to get him back. It looked like things were finally turning around. Then Saturday came. Bronwyn was jolted awake by her sister. Bronwyn, Maeve said urgently, "You need to come downstairs. Right now." Bronwyn ran down the stairs. The TV was on, and her blood turned cold. Breaking news, an arrest has been made in the Simon Kelleher case. One of the Bayview Four has been formally charged. On the screen, Nate was being arrested at his house. Bronwyn went into full-blown panic. She knew Nate was innocent, but what could she do? Her first instinct was to call her family's attorney. But she also remembered this charity legal group she'd heard about. Until proven, they provided pro bono attorneys who weren't as swamped as the public defenders. So she called. "Please, I need your help," she begged. "Please, please, please." The lawyer on the line sounded tired. "I'm overwhelmed as it is. I've been following the case online, and I'm sympathetic. But I don't think I can take on another client." "Please," Bronwyn said. "Just meet me. Once." She knew she had to tell her mom. Not just about the lawyer, but about Nate. That they were dating. There was no hiding it now. And to her surprise, her mom took it really well. It wasn't like her mom was one of those privileged, annoying women who insisted, "You can only date Ivy League guys and marry someone as rich as us." No, her mom just looked at her and said, "Wow. You should have told me all of this. There's a lot I didn't know." They end up going to the lawyer's office, where they're surprised to find Nate's mom already there. Wait, what? Wasn't Nate's mom dead? He told everyone she died in a car accident, but nope. She's alive. It was just easier for Nate to say she was gone. Even Bronwyn was shocked. She genuinely thought Nate's mom had died. So they all sit down with Eli, the attorney, and he says, "This is a tough case. What do we even have so far?" Bronwyn explains, the police got an anonymous tip that Nate was selling drugs out of his locker. The school checked and didn't find any drugs, but they did find Simon's water bottle and all the missing EpiPens from the nurse's office in Nate's locker. Eli is stunned. "What? Exactly?" Bronwyn says. "If he were guilty, why would he just leave all of that in his locker like an idiot? It's so clearly a setup." Then she adds, "Right after that, the police came to our house. They found a journal in Nate's room with all the Tumblr posts rewritten, and some new ones that hadn't been posted yet. Stuff like 'I killed Simon because I watched Dateline.' Any fingerprints or forensic evidence? Nope. Not a single fingerprint." "How convenient," Eli mutters. "Is your house even secure? Always locked?" "Not really. I don't even remember the last time we locked the house." "And the locker?" he asks. Come on, it's high school, lockers are basically public property. Then Eli drops a bomb. The DA thinks Nate is too dangerous for juvie. They want to transfer him to adult prison. He sighs and looks at Bronwyn. You know this is your fault, right? Now I have to take this case. She gasps. Wait, really? Yeah. But I need you and your mom to leave, because you're already represented by another lawyer. Bronwyn is beyond grateful. She thanks him repeatedly as they leave. Now the focus shifts, they've got to get Nate out of prison. So the Bayview Three, the remaining members of the group, try to figure out who really set Nate up. Their minds go back to the car accident at school. The timing was too perfect. They'd been so distracted they didn't notice who might have slipped into Nate's locker or into his house. They hadn't seen that red Camaro again since the accident. So they go back to the Tumblr posts. All three had stopped reading them for a while, it was too much stress, too toxic. But now? Now they had to study every word. Was it even Nate writing these posts? That's what the police believed. One post talks about how the four of them sat in the interrogation room while the cops stuffed their mouths with donuts. Bronwyn and Cooper exchange confused looks. That never happened, Cooper says. I wasn't even in the same room as Nate during the interrogation, Bronwyn adds. Then Addie speaks up, it's not true, but I told Jake it was. Meanwhile, Bronwyn goes to confront the guy who was driving the red Camaro. He's a student at a neighboring high school. She spots him, walks up, and he's like, hey, aren't you that girl from TV? Yeah, she says. I'm Bronwyn. He starts walking away. I was just waiting for someone. I was waiting for you, she says. He freezes. Look, that accident never happened. Then he caves. Okay, fine. It did. But I didn't think it was that big a deal. Some guy paid me and my friend $1,000 each to get into a fender bender that day. It only cost $500 to fix my car, so I pocketed the rest. Do you know who paid you? What did he look like? Brown hair. Blue eyes. She shows him a picture of Jake. No, it wasn't him. It was someone closer to the case. Who? Simon Kelleher. Wait. What? Simon paid them? But why? I don't know, he says. That's all I know. Back with the group, now unofficially dubbed the Murder Club, they start brainstorming. They stick post-it notes on a board with everything they know. Simon had a blog. He was depressed. He hated Nate. Maybe because Nate hooked up with Keely? Simon liked Keely too, apparently. But what about Cooper? Why would Simon hate him? Addie thinks, maybe because Keely dated Cooper. Maybe Simon was just jealous of everyone. They float the idea that maybe Janae was obsessed with Simon, wanted more than friendship, and killed him out of revenge. But framing the rest of them? That doesn't really add up. They try to connect the dots. Janae had been acting weird when Addie visited her house before. But still. Jake? It can't be Jake. Addie refuses to believe that. Until she remembers something chilling, the day Simon died, Jake asked to hold her backpack. Said it was too heavy. Which he never did. And soon after, a phone was found, in her bag. She rushes to Janae's house, slamming on the door. What were you doing in my house that day? Janae opens the door, and she looks awful. Pale. Purple. Hives all over her skin. Her eyes are sunken. What's going on with you? Addie asks. Nothing, Janae says. Why are you here? Simon killed himself, didn't he? Janae doesn't deny it. Addie spills everything, and Janae disappears upstairs. 15 minutes later, she returns with a stack of papers, Simon's manifesto. It was meant to be mailed to the police 1 year later, after they'd all gone to prison. Simon wanted credit. She reads the beginning, Here's the first thing you should know about my life. I hate my life and everything in it. I decided to get the hell out, but I didn't want to go quietly. School shootings? That's overdone. I wanted something that takes brains. One post talks about how the four of them sat in the interrogation room while the cops stuffed their mouths with donuts. Bronwyn and Cooper exchange confused looks. That never happened, Cooper says. I wasn't even in the same room as Nate during the interrogation, Bronwyn adds. Then Addie speaks up, it's not true, but I told Jake it was. Meanwhile, Bronwyn goes to confront the guy who was driving the red Camaro. He's a student at a neighboring high school. She spots him, walks up, and he's like, hey, aren't you that girl from TV? Yeah, she says. I'm Bronwyn. He starts walking away. I was just waiting for someone. I was waiting for you, she says. He freezes. Look, that accident never happened. Then he caves. Okay, fine. It did. But I didn't think it was that big a deal. Some guy paid me and my friend $1,000 each to get into a fender bender that day. It only cost $500 to fix my car, so I pocketed the rest. Do you know who paid you? What did he look like? Brown hair. Blue eyes. She shows him a picture of Jake. No, it wasn't him. It was someone closer to the case. Who? Simon Kelleher. Wait. What? Simon paid them? But why? I don't know, he says. That's all I know. Back with the group, now unofficially dubbed the Murder Club, they start brainstorming. They stick post-it notes on a board with everything they know. Simon had a blog. He was depressed. He hated Nate. Maybe because Nate hooked up with Keely? Simon liked Keely too, apparently. But what about Cooper? Why would Simon hate him? Addie thinks, maybe because Keely dated Cooper. Maybe Simon was just jealous of everyone. They float the idea that maybe Janae was obsessed with Simon, wanted more than friendship, and killed him out of revenge. But framing the rest of them? That doesn't really add up. They try to connect the dots. Janae had been acting weird when Addie visited her house before. But still. Jake? It can't be Jake. Addie refuses to believe that. Until she remembers something chilling. The day Simon died, Jake asked to hold her backpack. Said it was too heavy. Which he never did. And soon after, a phone was found, in her bag. She rushes to Janae's house, slamming on the door. What were you doing in my house that day? Janae opens the door, and she looks awful. Pale. Purple. Hives all over her skin. Her eyes are sunken. What's going on with you? Addie asks. Nothing, Janae says. Why are you here? Simon killed himself, didn't he? Janae doesn't deny it. Addie spills everything, and Janae disappears upstairs. 15 minutes later, she returns with a stack of papers, Simon's manifesto. It was meant to be mailed to the police 1 year later, after they'd all gone to prison. Simon wanted credit. She reads the beginning. Here's the first thing you should know about my life. I hate my life and everything in it. I decided to get the hell out, but I didn't want to go quietly. School shootings? That's overdone. I wanted something that takes brains. That no loser could replicate. Addie asks, why, Janae? Why did he do this? Simon thought he deserved more attention and respect. He got bitter. Angry. He started plotting. Talking to people online. He hated Bronwyn because she beat him for valedictorian, even though she cheated. He hated Nate because he didn't care about Keely, but Keely wanted Nate. He hated Cooper because Cooper was dating Keely, and because Vanessa stopped inviting him to parties, probably because of Cooper. Then she drops the bomb. Simon told Jake everything. About TJ. About Addie cheating. Jake knew for months, and he played along. Pretended everything was fine. Even went on beach dates and slept with her, knowing it all. Addie is horrified. Jake wanted me to go to prison? Yes. And when I wouldn't plant the journal and EpiPens at your house, I knew Jake would find someone else. So I gave in. Nate doesn't lock his doors. Why not turn Jake in? I can't. He has a recording of me and Simon talking about the plan. He said he'd pin everything on me, say I was behind the Tumblr posts. Just then, the doorbell rings. It's Jake. Addie panics. Okay, she says, let's play his game. Janae explains Jake always takes her phone before talking. So Addie hides in the closet and hits record. She'll capture everything. Jake arrives. Janae confronts him. We have to stop. Nate's innocent. We can't stop, he says. It'll put both of us at risk. And by the way, I didn't even want Nate to go to prison. That was your idea. I wanted Addie to go down. But then, Addie's phone rings. Rihanna's song played. Jake freezes. What the hell, Addie? She bursts from the closet, bolts past him, and takes off into the woods behind Janae's house. Jake chases her. It's like a horror movie. Twigs snapping. Heavy breathing. Then, he catches her. Slams her to the ground. Starts choking her. Her head's bleeding. She's seeing stars. You did this to yourself, he growls, slapping her as he chokes her. Janae sneaks up, tries to hit him, but he punches her in the face, breaking her jaw. Goes back to choking Addie. You're not going to prison, he hisses. But this is good enough. Just as Addie's about to lose consciousness, bam. Jake is tackled to the ground by Cooper Clay. Sirens wail in the distance. The police come. They play the recording. Show all the evidence. Nate is released from prison. Janae takes a plea deal to testify against Jake, who's now facing charges for obstruction, harassment, and attempted murder. The Bayview Four move on with their lives. Cooper becomes a hero, again. Every major league team wants him. He gets a full ride. Bronwyn retakes chemistry, passes, and gets into Yale. Nate gets a construction job. He and Bronwyn are still dating, even after briefly breaking up when he doubted their future. Addie turns down TJ's romantic interest. Not because she doesn't care, but because she wants to spend time finding herself first. And Jake? Jake's in prison.